Your company doesn't have a retention problem. Your company has a growth problem. Most people can tolerate stress, but people will not tolerate feeling stuck. And right now, top performers are leaving at an alarming rate because they no longer believe their organization can develop them. That's not an HR issue, that's a leadership issue. Let's unfold. All right, welcome back, y'all, to Unfolded News. My name is Jerry Simmons with Unfolded Leadership, where we train and transform individuals like you who want to inspire, influence, and impact your teams on a day-to-day basis. Today, we have something hot off the presses from Workday Global Workforce Report. And so it's talking about a few things, but what we're gonna talk about today is something that stood out to me, which was two things. First, it says your best people are walking out the door. High performers, the people driving your biggest wins, are leaving at a rising rate. Their exit hits harder than losing any other group. It continues. It says more than half, 57% of job seekers say they feel stuck in today's market with no clear next step. Without visible growth paths and clear opportunities, that frustration will spread fast. Okay, so let's start here. People are walking out the door because there's no opportunity for growth. And I think this falls right in line with what we talked about before. In the Gallup Workplace Report, it said globally engagement has dropped. I believe it was 2 or 3 percentage points to now 20%, which pretty much matches what it was around the time of COVID. So their engagement levels are low. And it seems like one of the factors that could be influencing that engagement is them not feeling like there's an opportunity for a next step. There's not an opportunity for me to create and develop a future here with this company. One of the things that just recently happened actually was Steve Kerr of the Golden State Warriors, head coach. He was able to sign a deal, a 2-year extension to continue coaching the Golden State Warriors. In addition to that, with Steve Kerr, you had Draymond, who was doing a sort of panel interview discussion. And Charles Barkley pretty much said, hey, you guys are old, you're not gonna win. So, you know, you gotta kind of move on type thing.
Well, it's over for the Warriors.
There you go.
I mean, no disrespect.
But disrespect is. There you go.
No
disrespect. Disrespect.
It ends for every old team. You have your run, you get old, y'all let Clay go. You and Steph on the backside of y'all careers, it just passed you by. Y'all had one of the greatest runs ever. If you think you're not in the playoffs, you're not gonna make. You think you're gonna get healthier for next year? You're just gonna get older. That's no disrespect. You guys had one of the greatest runs of all time.
Most people are looking at this and saying, that's funny, he's saying that you're old. What I'm looking at as someone who studies leadership, who studies the workplace, who studies engagement, what this communicates to me is that at Golden State, they've created something that a lot of corporate organizations could learn from, which is this. They have created something that allows their players to grow to the point where they want to stay. One of the things Draymond Green mentioned in this interview, he stated that he would love to be able to finish out his years at Golden State. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Do you see yourself in another uniform?
I mean, I don't want to. It's not something I've imagined over the last few years of my career. Early on in your career, you're kind of like, when is this going to come to an end, you know? Like, I've been here long enough, you look at the stats, guys don't stay that long. Then your mindset kind of shifts, like, can I make this a forever thing? Can I stretch this the length of my career? When I signed my last deal, that became a realistic possibility. And so for me, no, I don't see myself in another uniform, but I am also understanding of this business and know that it takes them to want me as much as I want them in order for it to continue going.
So as you just heard, Draymond Green said he understands that obviously they're not getting any younger. He understands the reality of the situation and he understands the business side. But ideally, he wants to stretch this out for as long as he possibly can. And I think it's because the Golden State Warriors, they're one of my favorite teams to study, because they've created a culture where these players have not only grown, not only won at the highest level, but they've created a culture that's so engaged in being in the team, being in the trenches together, being in the development process together. Even as a veteran, even as someone who has 4 rings, it's still that desire to be on that team. He can go wherever he wants to go, right? But there's a reason that the Golden State Warriors are sticky like that. There's a reason that these guys want to stay in the same jersey. Because if you remember, there was a time where that was common. People stayed on the same team for years and years and years and years until they were veterans and they had to disband. But we had someone by the name of LeBron James who most notably made such a shift. It was a complete disappointment to the fans. They were burning his jerseys. They were saying he was a traitor. They couldn't believe. I mean, it was insane. It was madness around the fact that he would leave Cleveland in order to go to the Miami Heat. That has become the norm though, because now you have people who are willing to move around, which again, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think that goes back to this statistic we're just talking about. People are leaving because there's no visible growth path. Even in their season of losing, even in their season of rebuilding, these guys see that there is a visible path of growth. So to my HR managers, to my leaders, to my executives, what growth paths are you creating for your staff? Not just the ones who have been there for less than, we'll say, 3 years. What is that growth path for individuals who are 3 years, 3 to 5 years tenure? What about 5 to 7 years, 7 to 10 years? What about those people in the middle? We cannot just overlook them, because we have to be able to not only create a relationship, we have to maintain it, and then from there we have to sustain it. There are these 3 important sections of a relationship, and we have to make sure we are nurturing those relationships at every stage, okay? So that's point number 1. All right, your best people are walking out the door. Point number 2, career growth has hit a dead end. Internal hiring is down 8% year over year. There are fewer promotions and lateral moves, which mean fewer ways for people to advance their careers. When growth stalls, so does engagement, and your top talent starts looking elsewhere. Okay, so we've got people who are in positions of leadership who are staying, and it doesn't really leave much room for anybody else to move up laterally. So then my question is, what happens when there's no room for people to move up? What happens? Okay, I can tell you exactly what they're doing right now. This is exactly what they're doing, because I've seen it so many times with so many business owners that I've worked with, so many managers I've worked with and talked to, and so many employees who've shared their story with me. What happens is they say, oh, you've been here a long time. I'm going to give you more work. I'm not going to give you a pay raise. I may slightly tweak your title, but it's just all going to be the same. Okay? This, again, is where the engagement stats are so important. People would be more willing to stick with you if you were engaged with them and engaged in coaching them, training them, personally developing them, as opposed to if you were not. And that's what's happening here. There may not be an opportunity to promote your employees. However, there is an opportunity to help increase their skill set, to refine their skills, to train them, to coach them, to create a dialogue between the two of you to determine what are your goals, what can we help you with, how can we really create an opportunity for you in the space that you're situated in right now based on the structure of the organization. The question we have to ask ourselves and then answer Am I part of this problem or am I part of the solution? Okay, it's cliche, but it's a great question. Am I part of the reason that, for one, not necessarily maybe the career growth piece, because maybe you don't have you're not the decision maker to decide if there's enough room within the budget to add a new role. Maybe that's not your decision. However, if you are a department head, if you're a lead, it is your responsibility and it is within your abilities to make a difference in terms of their engagement. So as a recap, something that we just learned: 1, your best people are walking out the door, and 2, career growth hits a dead end. So we have to understand, how can I separate myself in the marketplace? How can I create a culture that's going to be one that is contrary to what's happening everywhere else? How am I going to stand out? And part of that is really making sure that, 1, you create a culture that's so enticing, it makes people want to stay even when things are down. Just like the Golden State Warriors, just like seeing Steve Kerr say, hey, I want to coach here again. Just like Draymond Green saying, hey, if I can, I want to extend this as long as I possibly can, right? That's what we want to do. We want that type of mentality. We want that type of culture surrounding our organization, okay? So that's 1. And then 2, career growth hits a dead end. Maybe that's not within your capabilities. Maybe you don't have the say-so in terms of opening up positions and creating positions for your department or within your organization. But one thing you do have the ability to do is to improve engagement. And you can do that by creating opportunities for development, continuing to develop your team, continuing to challenge them, and making sure that each one of them believes and sees that there is a clear path. It may not be a clear path to a new job, but maybe it's a clear path to greater skills. Maybe it's a clear path to being empowered. Maybe it's a clear path to being a leader who influences others in the department. Okay? I hope this was helpful. For those of you who found value in this, please give this video a like, please subscribe, please comment what piece of this was most impactful for you. What did you learn? I love hearing about that. So I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, y'all stay unfolded. Peace.